What's good, everyone? Welcome back for yet another video. Today, I'm going to show you my latest camera score and discuss why so many photographers are going back to film. When I first got into photography, I was somewhere around 13 or 14 years old. And growing up below the poverty line, it was pretty difficult to do anything for a hobby, especially the things that I was interested in. The three things that were my interests were horror movies, playing guitar, and photography. But at the time, photography was really just a way to snap shots of me and my friends doing whatever it was we happened to be doing at any given time. Now, I'm currently in my 40s, as you can tell. So going back to my early teens, you could imagine that the cameras back then weren't very good. Well, at least not the ones that I had access to. The cameras I used were those cheap Kodak or Minolta cameras, no changeable lenses, no manual settings, and were about the size of my wallet. I mainly stuck with disposable cameras because it was just easier. I didn't have to wind film or install it without exposing it. So I spent the majority of my life either writing horror scripts, watching horror movies, or playing guitar in a band and performing on stage. When I finally decided to go back to photography, everything had changed. We were now in the digital age, and the DSLR was, the big thing in cameras. Now, I always had some sort of camera, whether it be some crappy point and shoot or a cell phone. So I wasn't totally ignorant on digital cameras, but I wasn't bright either. I bought a DSLR and really I never looked back. I learned the ins and the outs of shooting in manual, spent every waking hour studying photography, learning about all the different aspects, styles from street to landscape, and everything kind of in between. But I never thought once about shooting film. So I'm sure those of you that watch my channel are familiar with a guy named Peter McKinnon, I'm sure. Well, he recently started this journey of shooting film. He bought some film cameras and probably enough film of different types to last me a lifetime. Now, I love digital. There are no limits to the amount of shots that you can take. It doesn't cost you a dime to process your photos. And your photos are accessible to you immediately after you take the shot. So I was at a thrift store not too long ago and I saw this camera. This is the Canon Rebel G. I just want to jump in here real quick. If you guys enjoy the content on this channel, please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe for future content. And yeah, that's it. Now back to the video. I'd noticed it on two different visits to this particular thrift store, and both times prior I thought about maybe picking it up and kind of seeing what all the fuss was about when it came to film. But the way I remember shooting film was expensive and just not usually worth the wait, other than the surprise of seeing shots that you forgot you took. So finally on this visit, I grabbed it and I took it up to the counter to see just how much they wanted for it. It was $5. I figured, hell, even if it doesn't work, it's worth $5. I can use it as a decoration up on my shelf. So I bought it. Who wouldn't have? So I get it home, notice I needed certain batteries for it, so I go out and I get some, along with the only film I could find at my local Walmart, which isn't great. I install the batteries and it powered right up. And as you do, before you insert any film, you click the shutter and test it out, and I got nothing. So I opened up the back and I noticed the shutter curtain was stuck down. Now normally you don't really want to touch those old curtains with your fingers. You don't want to put any pressure on them and the oils from your hands. But I figured, what's the worst that could happen? It was $5. So I popped the curtain up and I'm in business. Everything seems to work perfectly. So I put in the film and my journey began. So here's where I give my personal thoughts on the idea of shooting film. Now, for the past few years, I've heard about shooting film and people wanting to go back to it over digital, talking about the quality, the beauty of the natural noise caused by the film stock, You know, the feeling of being limited on shots and having to take extra time to get the right shot. Now, I'm all for taking time to line up your shot, making sure your settings are correct, and that you think about your composition. But to be perfectly honest, I've never experienced developing my own film, enjoying the film noise or the quality. I mean, call me spoiled by digital if you must, but like a lot of things from the past, film just seems restricting, whereas digital gives me the feeling of freedom. No limitations, I can still take my time, but I get more 35, 36 shots. Now, things for me could 100% change the more I shoot film, and I plan to, not because I'm a film fanboy, but it's part of photography that I haven't learned. And my goal is learn as much as I can and use that knowledge for not just for myself, but to help other photographers along their journeys. You know, I'd been looking to take this camera out, but didn't know really where to take it or what to shoot. And since I only had 35 shots to work with, I was reluctant to go out and shoot with it. But finally I figured what the hell, and I took it with me to the Stillwater National Wildlife Refuge. Probably not the greatest place to take it. And these are the shots that I got. Now, as of shooting this video, I have no clue if I got anything worth keeping because the film hasn't been developed yet. So I'm hopeful at least one of these are okay. But it was during that session that I realized I know virtually nothing about shooting film. Not just that, but maybe I'm spoiled by my advanced digital cameras because I couldn't change the damn aperture or the ISO. So I pretty much left a crappy kit lens on it because when I put one of my primes on it, I was just way overexposed. So I did the best that I could with the very limited knowledge that I had. Now, since then, I've researched the camera and how to change the settings. Now I know how to do those things. So the next time I take it out, I'll be able to use, better lenses and have a bit more control over the photos. But yeah, I picked this thing up for $5 at a thrift store, and it's kind of opened my eyes to a whole new world. But I still just love digital. The positives, though, are I get to spend even more time learning something photography related. And that in and of itself is a win for me. So why do people like Peter McKinnon and a host of others make such a big deal about shooting film? Is it because of the challenge? Is there a natural beauty to it? Does it take more skill? I mean, I don't have the answers to these questions right now. But in the future, I hope to at least understand a bit more. So, do you shoot film? Do you prefer film? Or are you like me and love digital? Let me know below in the comments, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Even, have a discussion with you on, what do you think is better? Because the worst case scenario is that I get to learn something. And if that's the worst case, then I'm all for it. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and maybe you're also curious about film photography. And hopefully this video shows you that you're not alone in this journey. Anyway, this video has gone on for a bit too long, so until next time, get out and shoot. Pick your poison. Shoot digital or film, but just shoot. And I'll see you in the next one.